Welcome. This is episode 3 of Against the Grain podcast. This episode we're going to be talking about the book. The book. I've got the book down here in bold letters and exclamation mark. And the book that we're talking about is our new book.
The long-awaited
book. The Traditional Relationship in the 21st Century. We've been talking about it for about a year now, haven't we? It's finally here. So we published it about a month ago.
Yes.
About a month, 5 weeks ago. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about a good woman, aren't we? A good woman. So in the last episode, episode 2, we talked about a good man and just some of the sort of headline key bits about, what a good man is.
What makes a good man?
Taken and inspired by what we've put in the book in quite a bit of detail, isn't it? In this episode, we're going to talk about a good woman. So, the first thing then, like I said, the book.
The book.
The book.
Do you believe we've actually done it?
Yeah.
We've made it. We've made an old book.
I believe we've actually done it. Let's get some sounds.
So ASMR.
That is, ASMR. That is, for those of you that are listening, and not watching the videos, listening to the audio podcast, there you go, there's some ASMR for you, and that is audible proof that the book does exist, that it's here. Like I said, we've been talking about it for a year now.
For some time.
Or a year up until we published. It has been sort of like long awaited, hasn't it?
It has.
People, got to the point.
It's been worth the wait, though. I will say that. Maybe I'm biased.
Maybe.
But no, I don't think I am, because all the reviews that have come through so far from people, it's been nothing but this
positive,
is
absolutely
really good. And a lot of people, I don't think it was quite what they expected.
Yeah.
So
that you can tell that from the feedback that people have been giving and people that have been talking about it is pleasantly surprised is probably as a phrase that you could use, isn't it? Pleasantly surprised, I think people have been. They've got the book, and maybe like anything, you have sort of like preconceptions, and we haven't sort of laid the entire book out while we've been talking about it, have we? In terms of this is exactly what it's going to be in read today, but we've just given snippets and bits and pieces and whatever else,
Yeah.
So I think people have inevitably, as people do, they've formed a vision in their head, perhaps that what they think it is, or what it's going to be, and then they've read it and realised that it's not quite that. But
that's right.
Good.
Do you know what I think is really good about it is, and I said this a few weeks ago actually to somebody, it's kind of a book for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not just, are you in a traditional relationship? Well, then you need to read this book. Or it's not just, I know nothing about traditional relationships, so let me read this book. It's literally a book for anyone and everyone.
It absolutely is.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, on a few different levels. And, you mentioned sort of, like, I don't know, 2 categories of people there. People who are in a traditional relationship absolutely can benefit from this book. We can confidently sit here and say that.
Yeah.
Especially, today, with all of the lies and misconceptions that are around that, right?
Because there's a few.
And the shit, basically. If you remember back to episode 1, we spoke about the shit that you get online. We talk about that in this book. We really do. About kind of the shit that you might experience. No, not that you might. That you will experience when people find out. Like
it's some deep dark secret.
Yeah, like it's some kind of deep dark nerd secret.
It's
people
crazy.
Find out that you base your relationship on traditional values or gender roles or whatever. We do talk about that in there quite a bit as well. We've got 2 chapters towards the end of the book there. And talking about like that kind of shit, the lies that are told, and also, if you would want to, how to defend yourself. How to actually debate properly the kind of tactics that people who are against this type of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Tactics that we refer to in the book as feminist fools. Okay, and gullible people.
That's right.
And they're not always mutually exclusive. But we do talk about that. So those, like I said, those people who are already in a relationship could probably benefit from that. A relationship tune up. it's always good to sort of like just, you know...
Room to improve.
Yeah, room to improve. Everybody's got room to... And that's one of the biggest things about anything that you're trying to achieve in life, isn't it? Is it's a constant... you know, like a constant evolution, and you constantly, or you should be constantly trying to improve yourself in whatever you do. So, yeah, can benefit from that. Anybody that is looking to actually actively get into, you know, or want a traditional relationship, right at the beginning of the book, we talk about that. We talk about, you know, the what's required is that section's called, isn't it? Part 1 is what's required for a traditional relationship or a traditional marriage. And, you know, indeed, when we spoke last episode and we talked about a good man, that idea and those concepts and those points were lifted out of this book, weren't they? If you remember. And when we're going to talk,
they were.
When we're going to talk in a sec as well about a good woman, those concepts and ideas are lifted out of the book as well. Obviously, we can't go into it as much detail as a book on a podcast.
But we're just not going to.
Yeah, well, because to be fair, because I can talk forever, can't I? On you know, things that I care about.
We've never noticed that.
Yeah, my monologues have become legendary on our lives on social media, isn't they?
But so what?
Listen,
if someone's asking a question,
do I look bothered?
No, I know that. But if someone's gonna, and it's always the same person. Person A asks a question, and then you're answering the question. I mean, you know, you've gone on for a few minutes about it, but then they're the same person, who then turns around and says, like, "Why are you still talking?" Because you asked a damn question, fool. But then I suppose we're going into the foolish people. It all circles back.
It all does. We've covered it all.
A full circle moment.
But yeah, those people who want to get into a traditional relationship, they're covered. Absolutely. People who just want to learn.
Yes.
Like genuinely learn.
Yes.
You know, it's good for them because this lays it all out, doesn't it? And it lays the truth out as well.
Yeah. And
it's also, you know, we also address in the back there as well. We also address some of the lies that are told by feminism. You know, I think there's three sort of like key pillars that they rely on, or three big lies that they rely on, and you know, we debunk them quite extensively using proper data and information. And proper analysis, don't we?
And do you know what's weird is it's quite easily done as well.
No, it is.
That's the wild thing.
No, it absolutely is.
If it's so easy to have gained this information, then what?
This information, that information there is all available.
Yeah.
You know,
readily.
I've got no special source of information from. You know, so whatever, literally, this is available to anybody who cares to look properly and deeply and look objectively.
Sat at home in your underpants.
Literally.
Scrolling on Google.
Literally. Sat at home in underpants.
If you
reading
can do
books
it,
and going on to reading reports and gathering data and making my own graphs and all that kind of stuff. That's usually in my underpants, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Such is life. But yeah, you know, we've got it there, haven't we? The book, it's there. Okay, you can get it from our website. It's the only place you can get it at the moment. You can get it from our website. It's www.mrandmrso.co.uk.
How weird. Does it feel so weird being able to say it freely? Because I can even say it. I don't even have to say like on the app. On TikTok, it's a minefield.
Yeah, you can't.
Minefield?
It's a minefield. I mean, it is a minefield. It's a minefield.
Come on now.
But it's a minefield. But yeah, but even this is how I don't know how much the whole TikTok specifically, social media sphere has affected us. Even when I was saying the website then, in the back of my mind I was thinking...
Did you feel naughty?
No, in the back of my mind I was thinking, well, we can't use this segment then and put it on in a video on TikTok because I'm talking about it on a website. So that's one clip that can't go on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? In the back of my mind.
It's crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
It has altered our brain chemistry.
It has. It absolutely has.
And we've all just allowed it.
And allowed it.
That's another topic.
It absolutely is.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic.
It's a whole other country.
Topic. But yeah, it's there. A traditional relationship in the 21st century by Mr. and Mrs. O.
Yes.
Go and grab it. it is on sale at the minute as well, and there will be a code, or there is a code, but we will put the code on the screen. For those of you that are listening audio-wise, we'll somehow try and sneak the code into the description or whatever, wherever you find your podcast, and wherever else you find your audio podcast or whatever else. But yeah, it's cheap as chips, and it's worth it. Absolutely, it's worth it.
Worth it.
Put a lot of work into it, didn't we? We did put a lot of work into it. A lot of fact checking, a lot of fact gathering.
Yeah.
It's there.
And it looks nice as well. So even if you just want to have it as a little coffee table moment, you can.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you're not a reader, look at it.
That's the thing as well. Like
some good-looking folks.
We have done all of this ourselves as well. Literally, the only thing that we haven't done with this is physically print it ourselves.
Yeah,
that went off to obviously a proper book printers. But all of the artwork. Obviously the writing, the content, the writing, all of the formatting,
the whole thing,
everything,
the whole thing.
Going through the proper channels and getting your barcodes and your ISBNs and absolutely everything. We've done the whole lot, haven't we, ourselves?
Proud.
It is. Yeah, it is a sense of pride.
It is.
It is a sense of pride. Absolutely. There you go. A traditional relationship in the 21st century. By Mr. and Mrs. O.
Woo!
Okay, so the next bit we've got is a listener question. Listener question.
Do you know? I actually didn't know where you would list. I was like, what's would list?
Gonna list. No, this is a listener question, and this is a question. It's quite a while ago now because it's been quite a while since we've recorded, isn't it? But
shall we start with an apology about the length of time? No, in fact, no.
No.
Let's not apologise. No. Listen, life's been happening.
Life is happening.
And that's all right.
Life
it happens
is life.
To us all.
Life is life, and that's what it is.
That's right.
That's what it is. Bearing in mind that since the last one, we've been getting the book over the line.
It's true.
That is when it all came to a crescendo, right? So we're done with the writing, and doing all of that formatting, editing, proofreading, test prints, designing, all of that stuff, So even if we were sorry, we can be excused.
That's right.
But I'm not sorry for life happening. Never going to be sorry for life happening.
We're not sorry.
But yeah, this listener question. So this came about from, I think it might have been episode 2. I think.
I don't know.
I think it was after episode. I don't know if it was episode 2 that they were watching, but it was round about the time that we dropped episode 2, and I think this person came on to one of the clips on on TikTok. Came on to one of the clips on TikTok and dropped this question. Mm-hmm. And this person has also been in live. In fact, they were in the live yesterday.
No, that was a different person.
Or was it
similar kind of question, but a completely different person?
The person who asked this question did come into one of our lives and was asking sort of like questions and bits and pieces, and even this question. I mean, it's quite a long question in different parts and whatever. So I have broke it down just to sort of like make it bite size, and so that we make sure that we address the whole question as well. But this person it's a fair question. I think a fair question. It is a fair question to a point, and I think it's a genuine question. That's the other thing as well. It is a genuine question. It's not, or at least I don't get the sense that it's it's coming from a place of like a lot of questions that we get. Or
it's got like a hidden agenda.
Yeah, most of the questions we get, in fact, they've got some sort of agenda or preconception, or they just flat out ask just to cause problems.
Yeah.
Just to have smoke, have beef. But anyway, we've talked long enough.
That's right, just read the damn thing.
Hear people saying,
just read the thing.
What is the question?
That's right.
Talking about the question. But yeah, so the question here is, and this is from a lady. She has, her comment was, what I find difficult to understand though, is the tone that sometimes comes across, particularly when it feels like these views are positioned as the better or correct way to live, rather than just one opinion among many. At times it can sound less like you are celebrating your own dynamic and more like you are criticising or diminishing others, especially women who don't align with those traditional roles or perspectives shaped by feminism. So,
there was loads more to it, though. No, there is. Is that the first segment?
That's the first segment. That is the first segment. So I broke it down. I tried to read it and break it down into the segments that we can group together to give almost like a
I understand.
A full answer, okay, a broken down answer, and then they do go on to actually ask the question. But this was the preamble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I get that. Yeah. I understand where she's coming from. I understand why she's saying that. Genuinely, I do. So why is that? Why is that?
So
I think you can look at that from a million different perspectives as well. From coming from us, if you know what I mean, as to why that is the case, because that is the case. I genuinely do believe that is the case. In fact, we spoke about this on one of the past podcast episodes. Another bit of ASMR there, weren't it? Enjoy it. I think there's loads of different sort of reasons as to why. You know when it constantly feels like somebody, and I don't mean somebody, and I suppose it's our fault because we put ourselves out there on the internet, but when you are, because this is a very divisive topic, whichever way you look at it, this is such a divisive topic, way of life, whatever you want to call it. And I suppose when you put yourself out there, you are sort of opening yourself up to having people come and attack what it is that you're saying, what it is that you're doing, how you're living. So for me, it does come off as being defensive, and as opposed to being, we celebrate this because we love this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that is a point.
I'll tell you what, because what I'll do is I'll read the rest of the question.
Yeah.
Right. Because obviously it's all related, because it was the preamble for the question at the end. So following on from that, that's where it becomes uncomfortable to listen, because it starts to feel less like personal preference and more like a broader judgment. What I keep coming back to is this: if a relationship truly works for the people in it, it shouldn't need constant defence or justification to others. I'm very happy in my own relationship, and we've found a balance that suits us as individuals and as a couple. I don't feel the need to prove that to anyone, nor do I question people who choose choose a completely different dynamic, because what works for one couple won't work for another. Yeah. So I guess my question is, why the need to be so vocal and persuasive about this? Why present it in a way that can feel dismissive of other lifestyles rather than simply sharing your experience? There's nothing wrong with traditional roles if both people genuinely choose them and feel fulfilled, but there's also nothing wrong with relationships that look completely different. Surely the goal is mutual respect, not comparison. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Right. Do you know, as you were reading that, I was like, right, stop there.
Yeah, that's why I broke it down.
Because now I don't remember a single thing.
No, but that's why I broke it down. But I think you get the general vibe of the question, the comment and the question, right? So for me, with this one, is if we take part of that question and we look at, it's like we are comparing ourselves to other people and judging other people. Okay, so we're not comparing ourselves to other people and judging other people, okay? It's other people that force us to do that, okay? So what they do is what they'll do is they'll come in, and it's almost like a fatigue for us now, isn't it? I think that's what you were starting to say there. It's almost like a fatigue of people constantly attacking, right? Coming in and attacking, and it's like forcing us to defend ourselves or whatever, and when we do respond, what we try to do is give that comparison, because that's the alternative that people are talking about.
That's fair.
That is the alternative that people are talking about. So we give that comparison. Okay. The other thing as well is like, why be so vocal about what we're doing? Well, because that's our job. I mean, I don't mean our job as in like that's what pays the bills. It's what we're employed to do. But that is our job. That is the whole reason why we are doing what we're doing. So that part of the question really, to me anyway, is a bit moot, right? Because that's why we're here. That's why we've set up a TikTok. That's why we put all the work in that we do, is to be vocal about our beliefs and show people the truth of this way of living. So the need to be so vocal is the whole point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd just sit there quiet and just watch TikToks and Netflix.
Why would you even be?
Why would we even be on it? Why would we be out here writing books? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like asking somebody who's writing a book about a topic, why are you so vocal about the topic? Well, I don't know. Maybe because I'm into it and I want to spread the word.
Because I'm just banging into it.
Do you see what I mean? So you got that, and the other thing as well is I mean, then they mentioned feminists in there as well. Like, you're saying, it's almost like we think that this is better than, and I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but it's like we think this is better than what other people choose, especially women who are choosing, what feminists are talking about. And I know you won't say this and you don't think this, but I will sit here and I will completely spin this around, right, and say, absolutely it is.
That's where you're wrong, because I actually made a video in regards to this question. Like I said, this is a while ago. And I said in the video, I was like, she's basically asked, and I said, like, I don't actually think that this person is trying to be a dick, right? That's very important to say. But I did say, like, she's basically saying that she believes that we believe that that the way that we have our marriage set up is better. And I just replied and I was like, because I do.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this quite often, you'll know, like, you wouldn't live your life in a certain way if you didn't think that that was the best way to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I understand that it's not for everybody. Nothing can be for everybody. Nothing. But the fact is that, yes, I do think it's better. And I won't apologise for that.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, like, this sounds really weird, because I'm going to say, like, we're tolerant. I hate that. That's probably not the right word. I'm not even sure. But, like, we're accepting of other couples living however they want to live.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, we think it's better, but it's not. We're not trying to ram it down people's throats and say, right, no, if you don't live like this, then you're a dickhead. That's not the point.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's the thing as well. I get this, and from my perspective, it's also worth saying, right? And this is what they've done. They've mentioned, feminists and the way that feminists think that women should be and live and all of that kind of stuff, right? I have to be completely open and honest about this. I'm going to have to be, because there's going to be a book about it within the next year, right? So
you heard it here.
So like, me not being honest about this is just going to be completely pointless. Like, I have a big problem with feminism, right?
Really?
A big problem with feminism, right? And a big problem with the way that feminist ideas, right, and especially toxic feminist ideas, right, have affected the world. How it affects women, how it's affected men, children, families, society, the whole thing, right? So, for me, it is a very, very conscious thing to try and stop that from leaking into places where it doesn't belong, right? Or excessively leaking into places where it doesn't belong. That's a conscious effort for me. And so if that comes out sometimes or comes through, I'm not going to make any apologies for that, right? It is what it is. And that's because there is, like, serious issues there. Do you know what I mean? Like, to my mind, okay, there's serious issues there. So if that leaks out sometimes, that I'm not even sure if that's what that's what they're talking about, or they saw some of that leakage in what we were talking about. I mean,
they saw your leakage.
I mean, indeed, when we talk about feminism, it's very intentional. Especially on this podcast. For me, it's very intentional. Like, I am saying the things I am saying with intent, right? But sometimes it's not always the right time or the right environment to be having that or bringing that in. Yeah. So I do try to, like I said, not allow it to leak into places where it doesn't belong. But yeah, I think the whole thing of comparing ourselves, we're not comparing ourselves. What we're doing is we're pointing out our experience, and we're using the proof of why this works, okay? And for that, you do need to sort of make that comparison, don't you? Or you need to put it alongside something else. Yeah. Otherwise, all you've got is what we're saying and the lies that the people have been told. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where it falls down. So for me, it's like, well, this is what we're saying is the best way. It's the best way for us, our experience. We've proven statistics and all of that kind of stuff. That we've proven that this, that this is, if you want a long-term fulfilling relationship, this is the best way. And then what ends up happening is the people that come in with all those lies and bullshit, or at least the ideas that are based on that lies and bullshit. So before that even happens, we make that comparison. Because it's like, you can come in and tell us that this is wrong, right? And that's fine. But what the only thing that you're left with after you've told us is wrong is even more wrong. So we always make that comparison. This is the alternative. Yeah. Straight away. We say, well, this is what we do and so what we do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the reason why this works and that doesn't is because of X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, and try and join the dots for people. And that's what it is. So, I guess in that respect, we do sort of compare. There is sort of comparison there. But it's not meant from a judgment point of view in terms of people who live like that or whatever. We have something against people. No. We don't have anything against anybody.
Truly, and this, I don't know. Does this sound a bit made up? I genuinely, I don't care. Yeah. If you don't want to live the way that we live, okay. Yeah. I'm not holding that against anybody. You can sit there and you can make judgment because everybody makes judgment about everything that they see, that they witness, that they hear about. That's called being human. But at the same time, I think, well, I genuinely don't care. As long as you are safe in whatever setup you've got, you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anybody else, have at it. This way is better, though. But have at it. Yeah. And that's on opinion, isn't it? Because, again, we're people. We have opinions about everything. And that's just the way that it is. Yeah.
Surely the goal is mutual respect, not comparison, I think was the last bit there. Our goal is not mutual respect. Just need to be clear about that. The goal here is not mutual respect. Our goal here is to educate people on the truth. That is our number one goal, is to educate people on the truth of traditional relationships and how they can present themselves or how they can be done healthily in the 21st century. That's why I wrote a book. We're not interested in mutual respect. We have mutual respect. That's not to say that we're trying to promote any kind of disrespect. But our goal is not mutual respect. Our goal is not to sit here and say, our way is fantastic, but so is everybody else's, because we don't believe that.
No, we'd be liars if we said that.
We'd be liars if we said that. So we do need to be very clear about some of these things as well. Some people are like, oh, look, you see, this is what I mean. And it's like, okay, if you don't get what I've just said, then, I can't help you. Yeah. We've literally been monologuing, or we've literally been droning on about this one question for the last 10, 15 minutes, right? If you don't get where we're coming from after that, right, then we can't help you.
Yeah. And unfortunately.
That's not aimed at the person who asked the question, by the way. I'm just talking about in general, because there's going to be people comment and go on it, and and they're going to talk about all kind of madness. But that's where we are. That is where we are. We're not aiming for mutual respect. The other way of doing stuff is already respected too much, which is why most people do it. Respected and accepted. That's the thing that we've got to understand here as well. It's almost like we're being called out for defending and promoting the truth about this lifestyle, But let's be honest, right? If we look at the bigger picture, our message, us, our way of living, and our message is the underdog.
Yeah.
In this situation. Going on like we've got some kind of major dominance and we're trying to put everybody else down. No. It's
like,
us that get put down.
Not.
Just go through all of the fucking comments in across all of the videos and podcasts that we do, and come on the lives and listen to some of the shit that people say about us and our way of living, right? Like we're not the ones with the dominant hand here trying to push an agenda and trying to put everybody else down. No, what we're doing is we're fighting to keep our head above water in terms of the truth of this way of living. So I think it's important to point that out as well. About mutual respect. It's not about mutual respect. It's about gaining respect for our way of living, which is not respected across the board.
There you go.
So yeah, we make no apologies for that.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't,
ask again.
We can build on that. That's not a problem. Same for anybody else. Anybody who's got any questions or comments that they want us to address, like genuinely for us to all discuss and learn, then yeah, we absolutely can. And thank you for that question and comment as well. It's good to know that people are actually listening, even if it's something that we don't agree with. Their comments, questions, whatever. It's just that they're listening enough. To think about it and actually have a genuine,
in such a deep
genuine question based on it.
It's true.
A genuine, thoughtful question based on that. We can't ask anything more than that from anybody. Literally, we can't ask anything more than that. And that there is a demonstration of mutual respect. From us as people. A good woman.
Yeah, we like them.
We do like good women. We do like good women. So, just to introduce this bit, last time we spoke about a good man, and it was lifted, or the principles were lifted from the book, or from our book. We spoke about a good man, and I thought, this episode will talk about a good woman. So the two main ingredients that you need for a good relationship in general, but a good traditional relationship, is obviously a good man and a good woman.
That's right.
Because they are the main ingredients, aren't they?
Very true.
So we've got here a good woman. So first one there is a positive femininity.
Positive femininity.
Positive.
I knew one of us was going to get tongue twisted with that one. Positive femininity.
Positive femininity. Right? And we're talking about the positive femininity. We're talking about, it's a woman that sort of embraces her femininity. There's a lot of that missing.
Yes.
To my mind.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot. Shall we even get into it?
Yes.
There's a lot of.
Yes, go for it.
No, because I think we actually spoke about this in a previous episode. There is a lot of, or did we? I don't know. You don't know because I haven't said anything yet. Do you know what I'm going to say? You probably don't, do you? I'll just say it then. There's a lot of, I believe, women, do I dare say it? Trying to act like men. Just trying to act like men.
Yeah.
Nowadays. So it's kind of like a lot of them try and ignore their own instincts, which leads back to the femininity. So yeah, I do think that's lacking for a lot of women, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the thing. We talk about that in the book again, don't we? It's for me personally, that's one of the big sort of failings towards society of feminism and the feminist message is that the only way a woman, can be respected and be, successful and independent and, to her own mind and free, if you will, is by acting like a man.
Yeah.
Doing all of the things that traditionally men did. And that's got nothing to do with capability. I'm not talking about that, or opportunity. I'm just talking about, it's not even a case of, women should be allowed to do X, Y, or Z. Women should be allowed to do whatever they want. Yeah. Obviously, as long as it's legal and it's not destructive for them or the people around them, same standard as what you'd apply to any human being. or any civilized human being. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the message is actively being.
Yeah.
You need to do X, Y, and Z if you want to be independent, successful, and free in this world. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, no. What you've done is you've tried to. Well, you've popped up and said, men are shit. The only way women can be as good as men is by being shit like men.
Yeah.
If I put it in those words, people might think, hang on a minute. I don't think they will, but
we're hopeful.
But yeah, it is. I think that's what it is. And a good, positive feminine woman is a woman. She's not scared to be feminine, to lean into that power, and it is incredibly powerful, like so powerful, right? That it's we say it in the book, and we do explain this in a lot of detail. And there's a lot of references to back this up as well. It's not just us talking crap about it. Like, it's one of the great powers in humanity, one of the great powers in the universe is femininity. It is so important in the form that it's supposed to be in as well.
Yeah.
That is it. The form that it takes is what makes it so powerful and so important to everybody, right? And it truly is, like, so powerful. My opinion is that, like, women have been stripped of their true power, in a sense, by being told that the only way they can be powerful and respected is by doing all of this stuff that men have traditionally done, and that's not the case.
No.
What feminism should have done was saying, no, we are women.
Yeah.
This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we feel, and that's
We're
good,
women,
and that's okay.
And we should love being women.
And we should love being women, right? And wherever that is not respected, right, we need to fight for respect for that.
Yeah.
Not, we need to start trying to, act like, I use their wording, but act like the oppressors so that we're not oppressed. No, do you know what I mean, though? It's almost like, paraphrasing their ideology, but
that's
that,
true.
That for me, that's what should have happened. It's like, no, like, we're women.
Yeah.
And we deserve the respect,
That's
the
right.
level of respect that everybody else gets.
Yeah.
And in certain areas and circumstances, we deserve more respect. Just like in certain areas and circumstances, men deserve more respect for what they do in that bit or sphere or whatever. Same for women. But that wasn't the case. No, you all need to get out of being women. You need to get out of the home. You need to stop marrying and having babies, because it's all oppression and restrictive, and all it does is feed the patriarchy. Oh, fucking hell. I just can't with these people. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, a good positive feminine woman, right, is so powerful. And it is an absolute requirement for this type of relationship. Yeah. It truly is. Yeah. Truly is. More about that in the book, in detail as well in there. Next one is the Queen.
The Queen.
The Queen. Right? And again, this is in the book. And what we talk about, I'm going to obviously summarise it here. What we talk about there is, this is a woman who knows her own mind, right? This isn't like a lot of people accuse you of being, and accuse, women that live by traditional roles, or the women that embrace their, femininity or whatever.
Completely brainwashed.
And that you're all daft, and that you're this and that. And it is so much the opposite. A good woman is so much the opposite of that. Like, a good woman knows her own mind, doesn't she? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know your own mind. We had that discussion the other day, didn't we?
Did.
Incidentally, we had a discussion
about that. It was a nice conversation, actually. Know
your own mind, and not afraid to live by that. Do you know what I mean? This woman is this good woman, the Queen element of this good woman. She respects herself. Do you know what I mean? And she takes care of herself, and she presents herself like genuinely for herself as well. Not this fantasy that they're trying to feed women now about. So, for example, like the way you dress, and I'm not even saying that, like, it should be like dressed head to toe like a Mormon type of thing, because I know that'll be the next thing that the clothes talk about. Oh my God, he's telling about to dress. But like, you know, like the you know, for example, you look at elegant women, and that's just one example. And I'm not saying all women should dress like that all the time. It's not what I'm saying, right? I should be very, very clear about that.
That's what he's trying to say.
But look at the way elegant women dress, right? But you know, and she's dressing like that for her own respect. She's respecting herself for herself, not for what other people think she should be or whatever. Or not for this fantasy that well, to be fair, this fantasy is what they've had to put into women to you know, allow them to just, you know, basically do what they want. I'm not talking that fantasy that, like, you know, it's okay for women to do cartwheels down the high street at 3:00 in the afternoon in nothing but a bikini, you know, because she's dressing for herself and that's how she feels comfortable and she's not dressing for no man. Like, come on now, fuck off. Like, we all know that's bullshit, including you. Right? Including you and all the women that are telling you, go queen, right? Yeah. But everybody knows that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know, that's actually wild. This is probably a bit of a side note, but that's actually a bit of that's just weird, because in those same two sort of like scenarios that you've just come up with there, it's women giving their opinions and their feelings on both of those types of women, if you know what I mean. And it's, I don't know, that's a bit weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, you know, the bikini wearing cartwheeler down the high street. You know, you'll have a certain group of women saying, do you know what?
Yeah. Oh, go queen.
That one nowadays, isn't
Clock it. Go queen.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, amazing. This is great. This is great. But then you get a woman, you know, beautifully dressed. You know, I'm sure you've got a vision in your head as soon as I've said that.
Tasteful, elegant, whatever. Yeah.
And then it'd be those same women saying, well, she's doing that for a man.
Yeah.
That's like an instant go-to reaction, I think, from certain women is, you're doing that for, well, what do they call it now? They call it something. What is it? It's not men eyes? No. Male gaze.
Male gaze.
You're doing that for the male gaze.
Yeah, the male gaze.
And I think that's weird.
Yeah.
You know, when you
no, but that's the thing.
About these things.
Just on that, and it is a bit of a tangent in it, but just on that's a symptom of the whole movement, right? Or one of the symptoms of the whole movement on that particular subject, right? Of the feminism, right? And I give you a really, really good example that anybody, right, should be able to grasp when I say this, right? They won't, because you know what they're like.
Because they don't want to.
But anybody who's thinking and open mind will be able to grasp it straight away when I put it this way, right? Freedom, sexual freedom for women, right? Or, sorry, for women to be free, they need to be sexually free, right? But, well, my first question is why? Why is that? Why is it specifically that? Because it's not specifically that makes men in the patriarchy allegedly free, or anybody free for that matter, right? But okay, let's say that's what it is. So what you need to be able to do, or what women should be able to do, is have the freedom to run around and sleep with who they want and as many people as they want, with zero judgment and and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, right, okay, then so you want to free yourself from men by creating women that men can literally use, right, as sexual objects, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the while in the background saying, you had to do it. Stop treating us like sexual objects. We're not sexual objects for your and all that lot. And the fucking response to free yourself from that
give the men what
is
they
give
want.
the men what it's like. Yeah, that'll fucking show them. All men think about is sex. All men view us as sexual objects. So we're going to free ourselves by making ourselves sexual objects. Okay. So here's the problem.
Well,
but they won't have it. They will not have it. No. They absolutely will not have it.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? They just don't want to. They don't want to
not have it.
Understand. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we did go off on a tangent.
We did. But it's
how
worth
my mind works.
It's worth it though. So yeah, the Queen, and I mean, when we sort of like wrap that little bit up in the book, right? I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, but it's something along the lines of, if you observe, okay, a princess or a queen, I'm not talking about fucking Disney. I'm talking about real world, real life, right? Royalty, a princess or a queen, more so a queen, right? And you watch their behaviour, right? It's respectful, it's elegant, but it's definite and it's powerful and it's
intentional.
Do you know, it's very intentional, right? If you observe that, right, that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. Observe a queen or a princess walking into a room. And everything about that, and I don't mean observe it, just watch them walk into, I mean observe everything about that one situation, that one screenshot, if you will, right? Everything. Even the other people in the room. That's what we're talking about. That's the best way to give it, to analogize it, isn't it? The next one, the nurturer. It's an obvious one, this, isn't it?
That's right. Well, or is it?
You know, these days it probably might be a bit of a struggle for some people to get. But the nurturer, you know, people have a problem with this, don't they?
Yes.
You know, a woman who likes to actually gets enjoyment and fulfillment from taking care of her family.
Yes.
I.e. cooking for her husband, cooking for her family, cleaning the house even for her family.
Spending time
with the family.
That's kind of villainised,
you know,
a little
again,
bit,
like what you should be doing is cartwheeling down the road in your bikini at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the way to go and meet the girls for bottomless brunch.
Thong-back bikini.
Right.
At that.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is.
Yep.
But no, the nurturer. You know, we're talking about a good woman in terms of, you know, just the nurturer. You know, and we're not just talking about the, you know, the action of nurturer. Again, bringing it back into that positive femininity and the queen sort of thought process, behaviour, attitude or whatever. She's proud of that.
Yeah.
She embraces that. She realises that was one of her true powers. And true values as well, you know. That's what it is. It's not a battle for her to be that. It's not she's making herself do that, right? She is allowing herself to be that. Is probably a bit. I wish we'd have thought about that when we were writing the book. that one line there. No, but when you actually think about it, and as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, God, my God, that's actually real. That's a perfect way to put it. She's not forcing herself to be that. She's allowing herself to be that. And she's content with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Such an important thing. You know?
Yeah. Such a natural thing.
Natural thing, that's the thing as well, isn't it?
For the most part.
Thing. Yeah. That's the point, is that you're allowing yourself to be that, you know. Yeah. Rather than suppressing yourself, because that's what women are doing, and that's why they're finding so many problems in the world. You know, they're suppressing their womanhood and their femininity to try and be like men and compete with men, and then wondering why most of them are unfulfilled. You get the odd one who'll pop up and say, yeah, I've been single since I was 18 and I've bought my own house and I'm this and I'm that and I'm so happy and it's so great, and it's like, okay, like
it's all great until it's not great.
Even if you weren't lying, which some of you are, because you know we know you're liars. You know, those kind of people that fool themselves, who know you lie, so you lie to yourself. So you're definitely going to lie to us. And you're an anomaly. Yeah. Like you could have 10 women walk down the street and ask 10 women that question, and you would be lucky if you got one that would give that answer. In reality. Yeah. You know? But anyway. Next one here is the complete, not compete. And that's what it is, isn't it? You know, the feminine woman, the good woman in the relationship, she completes the picture. Yeah. She's not there to like compete with with the man specifically. Trying to do all that stuff. No, it's like you fit together like a puzzle piece. Do you know what I mean? What one is missing, or one is maybe not so good at, or maybe not so interested in even, and that kind of stuff. The other person is. Yeah. You know, man, woman, whatever. And it goes both ways as well. It's complete man's supposed to complete a woman as well. You know, you're not competing with each other. No. You're working as a team. And it's like, you both got these different skills and ways of doing things and ways of thinking and expressing feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't, it irks me that people can't look at that and actually see, well, yeah, but they're very different. But when you put them together, it makes sense. Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense until you put them together, and it's like, yeah.
Now I see.
Yeah,
now
I
see the full picture.
Yeah, see the full picture now. Yeah, you know, this fucking man was running around bouncing off the walls, not knowing what he was fucking doing. This woman was fucking running around, not knowing, you know, whether she was coming or going or whatever, and you know, all of the, she's struggling with this in her life, and he's struggling with that. But then when you put them together, it's like, well, oh, hang on a minute, we're both filling in the gaps there. But people can't see that.
No,
it's just strange.
But again, is it that they can't see that, or the same question again? I think I've said this about 3 times now, that they just don't want to see it that way.
Maybe.
And that's not even a question for you. That's a question for anybody else.
Yeah. No, you get that. Absolutely. I mean, again, you know, we talk about that in the back of the book, especially when we talk about the debating and defending your corner. You know, a lot of these people that you're talking to have built their entire personality and self-worth around those beliefs.
Yeah.
No matter how shallow those beliefs are, it's still who they are, and it's to the core. It's like almost like a religious belief. It is akin to a religious belief. So even, and you know, it's like when you talk to somebody who's religious, and you know, whether you're right or wrong, not to debate religion, but when you try to challenge or contradict them, especially the ones that know the least about that religion, right? They absolutely, positively will not listen to what you've got to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, they won't hear what you've got to say. Will not. You will walk away from that conversation, right? Like either unfulfilled or pissed off, right? Because you've just wasted both of your time.
Yeah.
And nobody's walked away with anything good.
Nobody's learned
that
anything.
Person's
no
walked
one's
away
changed.
exactly how they feel. In fact, probably stronger in their beliefs.
Yeah.
Even though, to your mind, you've given them so much, you know, evidence and things to think about, they just won't have it. And it's very, very similar with that ideology, isn't it? You know, the feminist ideology, if you will. But yeah, complete, not compete, self-pride. And that sort of fits perfectly into that sort of the queen side of stuff, right? You know, you're proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, again, you know your own mind.
Yeah.
You're not a less person or whatever. I don't know, a lesser person, because that's the other thing as well. It's like, oh, women like that. That's what you get accused of, isn't it? It's like, oh, you know, you are. But what's some of the things that they say, that it's almost like they're insinuating that you are less of a person, or at least in our relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
I think you're less of a person, and you are.
That's the one.
And you are
accepting
of that, and it's all this kind of thing, and that just is so far from the truth that you know, it's just ridiculous. But you have that sort of. What's well, I mean, obviously the wording's there, and it is that self-pride, but that's almost like the headline of it. Do you know what I mean? You've got that self-pride, but with that, like I said, it's your own conviction within that.
Sure of your own
You're proud
self.
of yourself, you're sure of your own self, you know your own mind, all of that kind of stuff, you know? And it sort of, when you see a woman like that, okay, sometimes, well, quite often it's very, very easy to spot women like that, right? So these are the kind of women, they're not all up online looking for, what's the word, validation, that's the one, external validation, right, from strangers and all of that kind of stuff, right? You know, they know who they are.
Yeah.
They know their worth. And I'm not talking about, again, you know, that cliche finger clicking, I know my worth, like, bitch, you're worth fuck all, right? Let's just be honest, right? Ooh. And let's be honest, right? Because it's always the ones that are like that, the ones that genuinely have worth. And when I talk about worth, I'm talking about worth by anybody's standard, whether it's worth by, you know, a traditional standard, or worth by a modern feminist idea, right? You know, the successful woman, the boss babe, the woman who's independent and all that kind of stuff. None of those women right, are doing that cliche thing that I'm talking about, right?
Fair, that is a really fair point.
They could not be seen as being worth something, right? Now, I'm not attaching what this worth is. I'm saying this is across the board.
Yeah.
By anybody in any camp, right, what they would attribute as worth to a woman, the women that are doing that and behaving like that, they are not of that worth that would be attributed to them. So that's my point, right?
Yeah.
That's me just like pulling it out of nowhere and making stuff I'm trying to be offensive. That's just, the reality of it. So the next one there, it's just who she is. I kind of spoke about that, didn't we?
It's kind of like a fair few of these. They just sort of play into each other.
Oh yeah, they do.
They?
Yeah, because they all fit together. It's fitting together neatly in one person's values. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there's a lot more to a woman than these, and even a lot more to being a good woman just in general. These we're talking about. These are the key things. And bear in mind, we've lifted this from the book, so for each of these, there is like quite extensive explanation, and all of that kind of stuff. And again, like I said, it's backed up with the notes in the back of like references to other bits and pieces. But yeah, it's just who she is. Again, she's allowing herself to do this, to be this. She's not forcing herself to be it. She's allowing herself to be it.
That's right.
She's leaning into her femininity, which, to our mind, is the source of the woman's true source of power.
There you go.
And it's a power that dominate the world. Genuinely. You really need to read the book to see what we're saying about that and where we're coming from with that, because it lays it out obviously a lot better than we could here. But yeah, a good woman.
There you go.
From the perspective of traditional relationship in 21st century.
There you go. That's it. You know everything you need to know now. You're welcome.
So thanks for listening. That was obviously the latest episode of our podcast. We did mention a couple of times in there about people, if you've got comments, questions, genuine comments, questions where you want to learn or you want to put to us or whatever, you can absolutely do that, and you can comment on wherever you see this or hear this, or you can send us emails at Mr. and Mrs. O at mail.co.uk. You can DM on any of our socials. You'll find us. You'll find us. We're
not hard to find actually nowadays, are we?
No, we shouldn't be hard to find anyway.
No.
Obviously you can follow us on YouTube. At Mr. and Mrs. O.24.
That's right.
TikTok, which is where we do most of our work, to be fair, TikTok is at Mr.Mrs.Olivier. Over on TikTok, and that's where you do a lot of your videos and stuff.
We're there all the time.
Like every day,
we're there all day.
Particularly Grace is doing. That's where we do our lives and stuff as well. We've also got our website as well. Mr. and Mrs. O, or www. Mr. and Mrs. O.co.uk.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorted.